So, a typical middle-aged dude with a low back. I had low back tightness. I went to my doctor. They're like, yeah, you had disc bulge. Everyone has a disc bulge. I went to my physio. They do some clamshells. I herniated the disc. I went to my physio. He's like, I had like 3 degrees internal hip rotation. He's like, that's just the way you're born. You'll never get more. So you can't ski. You can't do these things. Do some clamshells. And so I've been on this 5-year journey where I was like, those aren't answers that work for me. The point that I would say when I came to your program was it seemed to consolidate and bring together so many separate ideas. So I just trusted it right away. And interestingly, I'd been working with a local physiotherapist. I'd just been kind of doing one-on-one with her. And like literally within the same week, she's like, yeah, I really think that this stuff might make sense for you. And I'm like, you won't believe it, but I just started doing that. Yeah, the low back feels like it's coming along. And I think it's coming along because of, I've learned to move so many other things. I've learned to move other things apart from my low back when my body needs to move, and move my low back when it needs to move. So I said to my wife the other day, and it was really after about 8 weeks of OHF, I haven't moved this way since high school. Like I sat down on the toilet, just the act, which sounds really weird. Like I was just like, I felt so strong, like in control of how I sat down. Like I didn't fall onto it and land. I just and I was just like, it sounds really weird. So yes, I started doing it and I felt a ton of progress. For the first time, I was like, this is making a difference. I basically have moved my whole life without using my glutes. And I've used my quads for everything. And almost within a month of me starting to do this, when my mom lives down the alley from me here, when I walked home from my mom's, I could feel my glute firing the way I knew it should fire. So, and I feel like I've been doing a lot of other stuff, but I felt that was coming from the OHF. I do a lot of Nordic skiing in the winter. I raced at university. I ski 6 times a week. This winter, I noticed both in classic and skate technique, I'm able to hold my pelvis lower. This is like the final 5% in being a fast skier, but it's getting my pelvis in the position where I can really generate a different type of power with it. And I think it's come from this. And so, yeah, no, I noticed it in all my motions, really. I did tons of other training for 20 years. And I feel like what I'm doing with OHF is allowing that other training to stick now. And it's giving it fertile ground to grow in. And for a long time, I was doing that other training and it just couldn't take hold. And now that the body's moving how it's supposed to, it's amplified the effects I'm getting from my other training. So yeah, it's working really, really well with everything else I'm doing. We aren't used to this type of work. And so it's hard to have the trust that if we do it for a period of time, that it's going to make a really profound difference. And luckily I had that trust, so I did it, and it has made that. And I think that people have a little faith in this, and they can do it for a period of time. Really incredible things come that you're not going to see after one class, but you'll see after a month or 2 or 4 or 6. But that's the only way change comes, is with time. People spend so much money on coffees and going to the gym. Like, come on. Like, I mean, this is a steal. I mean, really, you couldn't get more detailed instruction, more knowledge at a cheaper price. I don't even want to say cheaper price. You shouldn't even think about the cost of this thing because the cost of admission is like nil. So yeah, just throw that aside, because come on, people pay double at it for a massage, and now you've got this information and the responsibilities to use it. But yeah, no, the return on investment's huge. The investment people need to worry about is, if I spend a lot of time on this, is it going to make a difference? And that to me, the answer is yes, it will. I came to it in this journey of trying to learn again how to use my body and find all the opportunities and possibilities of how my body could move. And it resonated with me because it's from everything from the breathing to so many of the other motions, it just reinforced what I felt I was hearing that made sense to me from other modalities or other teachers in a condensed and in one spot. because I think the challenge that a lot of people face is they're like, okay, you know, I got to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that and some of this. And then I was just like, okay, I really liked when I came to OHF finally was, okay, here's this program, just commit to it and work through it and have some trust that with time, this will make some differences. So that's what I came to it looking for. But yeah, so no, I'm going to bump up. I'm going to keep going. And I'm enjoying it. It's great. And I really feel it's making a difference.